What's up, y'all? It's your girl Cornelia back with another episode of Black News, a podcast where we break down current events, hot topics, and local stories involving Black people. Now let's get into it. Hey, everybody, what's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Another episode of Black News. Welcome back. Happy whatever day it is that you listening to this. Happy it is almost Christmas. Let's keep it real. I looked at the calendar today, y'all, and I was like, so break out the Christmas apparel. It's literally August and almost September. It'll be September in a few weeks, which means, hey, it may as well be Thanksgiving. Okay. Happy birthday, Cornelia. November, then Christmas, New Year's. Get the party hats going. But it's still summer. It is still vacation time for many people. Um, with that in mind, and as mentioned, I'm not going on vacation. However, I will be taking care of some business and off for 2 weeks, y'all, in the upcoming weeks. So starting the week of September 1st, that week and the following week, there will not be a podcast episode. Okay, just giving y'all the heads up. I know, and maybe y'all, I don't know if I mentioned this. When I am off, momentum does it suffers, okay? It does cause for some impact to my listenership, if that's a word for it. However, this is out of my control. I got something I had to do. And I'm gonna be off. So just heads up in case y'all forget, y'all not be forgetting. And then I come back after the break and be like, oh dang, my bad. No, I'm telling y'all in advance. So keep this in mind. Starting that week of September 1st, there will be no episode for that week and the following week. I will be back then after. Okay. So good on everybody. With that though, that was some quick housekeeping. I want to jump right into this episode because there's a couple of things I want to point. I want to talk about some things that I discussed last week that I want to bring back, and then we're gonna be in and out of here. Okay, all right, let's get into it. So I spent a significant amount of time last week talking about the state of Black people as it relates to our well-being in this country, specifically around Black people being lynched, and I won't even say just in the American South. I will say across the country, right? That I spent a lot of time going through that, share some of my opinions, read the names of some people that were found lynched over the past few years, even up to recently. And it was the top of mind because it was something that we were experiencing real time, and it is right in front of our faces, right? Now, with that said, just maybe a few days ago, a few days before I'm recording this podcast, maybe even the day before, there's another report of another Black man found hung in Raleigh, North Carolina, specifically found behind a restaurant called Whiskey Kitchen. Listen, everybody, and I'm not going to say everybody because some people don't really know what be going on. But on the social medias, this literally was another thing to continue the conversation, unfortunately, because these are conversations that we shouldn't be having, right? And the only positive out of all of this is that we are not alone in our thinking that it's something going on. Not right. And I'm going to get into this specific case because this one is a little nuanced. But I've been spending a lot of time thinking about this because, like I said, it's so heavy on my heart. It has really affected my spirit, and I am really burdened by all of this that's going on. And I come to the conclusion that it got to be the Klan. I know I talked about this on last week's episode, and I insinuated it and said maybe it is. It got to be. It has to be a new version of the Klan. It may not be called that. It may not be it might not have the same articles of incorporation. You understand? It may be. another organization that has pivoted their tactics and methods, but there is, to me, no other explanation for widespread evil to be circulating across this country, and there is no evidence, no camera footage, no nothing of showing this, unless it's simultaneously. And we know this because if they do history on the Klan were members of the community, unless it's the police. Because that's the only way somebody can pull something off, do something terrible, and botch the investigation and nothing come about. If the people who did the crime is the one investigating, it got to be the Klan. And I'm not being jokey. This has to be. It got to be the Klan. It has to be. Now, with that, and going back to the black man who was found in Raleigh, North Carolina, originally people on social media saying that it was a 17-year-old boy, and which it freaked me out even more. I'm talking about I was y'all, and at that moment when it first started circulating, people are just sharing stuff. Now, I did some digging and I was researching and I found some articles about it, and it turns out that that particular person was around like their early 30s, 32 years old, I believe. Name still not known. But the police department, specifically, they had a black police officer. I don't know if he was the chief or what his position was, but he did a press conference, and he said that this particular instance, they ruled it a suicide. They said there's footage of the man walking behind the restaurant with like electrical cables holding those. There's footage of all of this, whatever took place. This was in the daytime, mind you. The restaurant owner, the sous chef, came back and saw him hanging. Other patrons of the restaurant saw. They called the police. The police came out. They tried to do life-saving measures, and unfortunately, the man was pronounced dead. So, according to that police chief, he was saying that the footage says it was a suicide. Now, and I say this with no disrespect to anybody, right? I pray for that man's his peace and his family. And again, I don't say this in ill will towards the man who was doing the press conference. I need more. I need more investigation. I need more investigation. I need to see. I don't want to see the act, right? But I would like to see more evidence of an investigation. I'm saying that a black person, we know our relationship to lynching and hanging in this country. So even with him saying this, and this shows you, this is an example of what black people in this country have been through. That he can get on here and say we got footage, and we still like, but do you? But is there footage? Also, I'm also struggling to understand how people are scaling up trees themselves. They become an expert tree climbers with the upper body strength of Mr. T, 1980s Mr. T. Then scaling out onto a branch, and with one hand tying both ends of whatever method is used in doing all of this, with no ladder, no chair, no step stool, no nothing. It's very hard for me to believe. I'm so sorry. And again, I'm not saying this in a hurtful way or disrespectful to that man and that man's family. I'm talking about the system surrounding these conversations and the deep, deep trauma that the black community still holds and has due to the centuries long history in this country of what we had to endure as it pertains to this form of unaliving. Hey, I hear you, Mr. Press Conference, but I'm gonna need more. Okay. And I'm not saying like I have priority. I'm saying us as a people. I mean us. Okay. But again, with that, y'all, it got to be the Klan. Like I don't, and there's so many. these like random hate groups that have popped up over the years, right? You had the Proud Boy, like you got so many of these little groups that have just festered and have grown eh, since they've been or people have been around for since the beginning of time. But I would say especially around when President Obama got elected, you had all of these hate groups just like festering and doing whatever they were going to do. So there's actually no real telling who is doing what conversations are being had unless somebody infiltrate and really get down to the business. So this is just an unfortunate place that we are in. I also on social media, it was on TikTok, went viral, and I couldn't find it because I was gonna play it. This truck driver who was in the South, I believe, posted a video and was saying and telling people, if you are a truck driver, if you are out on these roads, to be careful and be vigilant, because he felt like there were two guys in another truck that were trying to lure him over to their vehicle to do harm to him. He was saying something like one was acting like he needed help and was saying my friend is inside and he can't get out, or something crazy. And then the black man was like, "No, I'm not going over there." And then out of nowhere, the friend that was supposedly or allegedly in danger or needed help appeared and seemed to be totally fine. The man was saying he felt like they were trying to lure him to do harm. Now, again, that was just a video that a man posted, but I'm bringing that up to say it's easier said than done to tell people to just be vigilant and keep your head on the swivel and watch your surroundings, because the world is so big and spaces are so wide open. And I live in California where we compact. I used to live in New York where you up on top of each other, but baby, in the South, y'all got land down there and space. And hey, it's spaces where hey, don't nobody know who over there. So it's not as easy to be like, well, be aware of your surroundings. Baby, I'm on 75 acres. Okay. However, I do want to say, y'all, we gotta keep a lookout, and we gotta keep our head on the swivel and be vigilant, because it's getting crazy out here. It really is. It's crazy. With that in mind, what are your guys' thoughts on this? Did you see the reports of the man that unfortunately is no longer with us that was found in North Carolina? And what were your immediate thoughts? Were they aligned with mine, or did you think something different? Right? Let me know. You can find me at Canelia on social media. So I want to spend just a little bit of time discussing and acknowledging how it feels like we are in a moment where y'all, and I'm not talking about the black news listeners, y'all know I'm talking about, where y'all don't like nothing. Y'all ain't satisfied with nothing. Everything that drop, especially from an entertainment perspective, everybody got a problem with. Don't like it. Everybody got a critique. Everybody complain. Everybody got a complaint. Everybody got a complaint. And I want to talk about it so we can get to a place where we can stop doing that. And what sparked this? It's been a domino effect, right? First, and I'm not saying first, like first ever. I'm saying in the like last couple of weeks. First, everybody was pissed off, which we talked about the casting for T'Challa, aka the new Black Panther. Everybody was mad. David Johnson got it. Everybody, people mad. I ain't like, who is he? He don't look the part. He don't this. It should have been Aldous Hodge. It should have been Damson Idris. Everybody had a problem. Everybody got something to say. Everybody got casting expertise who ain't never even been in a casting session. Okay. Everybody know how to cast a movie that ain't never casted no movie. I saw people getting mad because Aldous Hodge was not cast as Lupita and Chadwick Boseman, and I'm using their real names to put this in perspective, as Lupita and Chadwick's son, knowing good and darn well that Aldous Hodge looked older than Lupita. Like, I literally, that man, and I listen, I love Aldous Hodge's work. He a fine brother. Okay. He younger than me, but that brother looked 47. I'm gonna keep it. And I'm not saying 47 to be a bad thing. We love us a mature older man. And he's not 47 at all. He probably 37. But that brother looked older than Lupita. And I literally was on social media asking people, you telling me that you would cast, if you had a casting office based out of Hollywood, California, and you had to put the call out to casting to managers and agents to say, send me in your talent. You telling me once it got through the first round of auditions, the second you got the callbacks for a movie this big, you have third and fourth round of auditions. Then it goes to um, the producers, so Ryan Coogler, Proximity them, and Kevin Feige them. Then it keeps going to the director, then the studio, right? So all the big wigs. You telling me as a casting office that you would put Aldous Hodge as Lupita's son, and he looked older than her. So we had that. Everybody was mad, right? Everybody's mad about T'Challa. This week, it was announced because people was like, if they doing what they gonna do with Storm. Now I know I had my pick, and I gotta admit, I don't be watching X-Men. I don't know what happened with the X-Men. That's one comic book uh group that I just didn't never pay attention to. But I wanted it to be Jamie Lawson. Well, it was announced that the lovely Maya Boyd has been cast to play Storm alongside a bunch of other people who were cast to play the other X-Men. Maya Boyd and listen, I saw some clips on her. She's a Broadway star. This is apparently going to be her first major movie. She attended University of Michigan. She is from Michigan, and I like her. And she is Sagittarius. Hey, I like her even more. Hey, I like her even more. She was in Merrily We Roll Along and Juliet and Joe Turner's Come and Gone. Saw her videos on social media. The girl can sing down. And I don't know how true it is. There were reports that Ryan Coogler also was helping out with the casting. You can't believe nothing nobody's saying unless it come out their mouth. So I don't know if he really did, but I like this casting. Child, immediately, everybody upset. She ain't the one. She not tall. She gotta be super dark skinned. We said dark skin, but we meant super black. She gotta be like this. She ain't been in no movies. It should have been Jodie Turner. Why they do this? Why is she so young? I don't understand. I don't like it. Why it gotta be her? She was supposed to be extra dark. Y'all don't like nothing. Ain't never satisfied. Everybody was complaining for the last couple Storms of Legend because I didn't watch the X-Men. I'm so sorry. I just don't have no context. But I knew what y'all was talking about. Everybody was talking about how they were upset that the previous Storms were lighter skinned black women, and Storm in the comic books is a dark skinned woman. People was pissed. Everybody saying we got to have a dark skinned Storm. Maya Boyd is a beautiful brown skinned woman. She is not light skinned. Okay. I was saying it got to be somebody who can act. They gotta be able to act. Well, she is a Broadway trained actress. Can act. Everybody was complaining, been complaining over the last how many years that Hollywood don't give new stars a chance, and they always go back to the same old people. And why is Ryan Gosling doing everything? And why they always picking so and so to do everything? We need to get some new blood into Hollywood. Where young Hollywood at? When we gonna see, and what they gonna do with young Hollywood? This young woman is 23 years old and she is a new actress. This is an opportunity for her and the gentleman playing Black Panther to really make their mark and solidify their place in Hollywood as Black actors. Y'all said y'all wanted new talent. They found new talent. Y'all mad. Y'all said she ain't tall. The Storm is big. Hollywood is short. I want people. This one thing that I don't think people really realize, and maybe y'all do, but maybe they don't. And apparently, in the comic book, Storm is tall, right? She's a superhero. I don't know what her size is in the comics in comparison to the other superheroes, right? Is she super, is she like there's all they are the same size, or is she like towering over these people? If they the same size, I want to remind y'all, them actors, them men in Hollywood, they little. Robert Downey Jr. played Iron Man for years. Robert Downey, I'm gonna give him max 5'7". And I'm being generous. Child, listen, even Michael B. Jordan, he ain't that tall. He not that tall, y'all. I'm trying to tell y'all. People y'all be thinking super tall. They ain't. The tallest, I'm gonna do black men. The tallest black man in Hollywood is some taller. It's some tallies. Mahershala Ali is tall. Yahya Abdul-Mateen the second. Okay, I gotta say it like that because he fine. Yahya is tall. Aaron Pierre is tall. Idris Elba tall. Wood Harris tall. The rest of them not tall. You get what I'm saying? So height, I want y'all to keep that in mind. Tom Cruise like 5'6". Like I'm telling, like Hollywood is little. So I want people to understand they can make you look big on screen. They can make people look a few inches taller than their actual height. So I want y'all to I want people to move on from this. But it just really, when I saw that, I was like, man, what do y'all like? And I'm not talking about y'all black news. I'm talking to people on social media. What do y'all like? Y'all don't like nothing. Can't nobody do nothing. Now, I was settling with that. I was like, you know what? Fine. It is what it is. Then the trailer, the new trailer for A Different World came out. Lord have mercy. Y'all, here we go again. How is Whitley and Dwayne Child and Hillman? The show was 40 some years ago. How do they have a child who's in college? Why does it look like the show The Quad or All American or Grownish? I thought this was gonna be for the older crowd. Why does it look? Who are these people? I thought it was gonna be something that we all can enjoy. The older people, millennials and Gen X. What is this? Y'all don't like nothing. Child ain't never satisfied. And I remember this happened when Blackish. Remember when Blackish came out? And I think this when I was I still in Black News then? Child, it's been a long time. I talked about this somewhere where people, when Blackish came out, that people were complaining about the title. They were saying, "What? Ain't nothing ish about being black." This was before the show even came out. Who are these people? Why did they cast Tracy Ellis Ross? And why are they in California? This show don't look good. I don't understand why they doing this. When we was growing up, we had shows like The Cosby Show, and we had quality TV. Child, Blackish came on, and after the first season, everybody loved Blackish. Y'all act like y'all ain't never said that. Y'all act like y'all ain't never said it. And yeah, over the seasons, people had some points of contention for like the producer, like and individuals, but the show Blackish, solid quality programming. Y'all act like y'all ain't never complained. Y'all act like y'all ain't had nothing to say. So with A Different World, child, just give it a chance. My God. Like, we got to stop this. And I think for me, I'm a say something that might be a little off-putting. This might piss some people off. This might piss a little couple people off. Everybody has a right to critique things, and everybody has a right to an opinion, right? Everybody got that right. And sometimes it is really valid. Some of this stuff, you got a point. You feel me? However, if you really don't know what it takes to get something made like that in this climate and entertainment, Hollywood has all but left Los Angeles. The industry, people moving out, people fleeing LA because ain't no more middle class work for entertainers in front of and behind the camera. If you don't really know what it takes to pitch something, have everybody say yes. Producers got to say yes. People got to say yes to the script. You got to have an agent and a manager and a lawyer to say yes. You got to have a team that is trying to get you in front of studios to have these meetings. They got to say yes. Somebody in one of these networks got to say yes. Everybody got to say yes to the pilot, to the first pass after edits. There's so many people that have to say yes to get something made. If you really don't know what it takes to get something made, y'all got to stand down a little bit. Got to chill. It is so hard getting stuff made. And Felicia Pry is one of the showrunners. And it is also produced by a couple people who were a part of Different World. Shout out to Gina Prince Bythewood and Reggie Rock Bythewood and a few others. They had to have the heaviest of heaviest hitters and Debbie Allen behind this to even get it made. Y'all, we gotta stand down. They're not greenlighting television and movies that are featuring black people like that. Ain't no work. Y'all know what she had to go through to get this made? Like when we watching something, I want us to do this exercise. And I'm not saying we only watch stuff with black people in it. I'm not saying that at all. Outside of like the Power franchise, because 50 Cent is in with stars. I don't know what, and it started by Courtney Kemp. Shout out to Courtney Kemp, who had to go. She was in Hollywood working on TV shows for 20 some years before Power was greenlit. She was back even when she was working on the Bernie Mac show. She had to put all of that work in to even be able to get to the point where she could pitch stars in other networks Power, and everybody said yes to even get that on here. And that's cable. So outside of the Power franchise, when we at home watching something and it is considered, and I'm gonna do air quote, black content, and that can mean there's only two black people in it, but y'all get what I'm saying. I want us to stop and think of what it took to get that made right now in 2026. I want us to be like, oh, this probably took a lot to get this on air right now. It probably took a lot. All them shows. I want y'all to think about it. And I want y'all to think about all the shows that ain't on TV no more. That wonder why they cutting us out. I'm telling y'all. So when people was complaining about the Different World trend, I'm like, shut up. Y'all, please. Please. Now, with that in mind, I'm excited to watch. I don't care if it is for Gen Z. I'm watching. A Different World is one of my most important and favorite shows of all time. I went to an HBCU because I was inspired by watching A Different World when I was a very, very young girl. A Different World came out, what was it? The first season was like 89-ish. I was what? 7? Like by the time A Different World wrapped, I still wasn't even a teenager. I was deeply impacted by that television show. As a young girl wanting to go to college, wanting to be in a sorority, as an entertainer, seeing black talent on screen, that show was everything for me. And so I am going to watch, and I am so supportive of this, and I hope it does well. And I don't listen. I watched Grownish for a little while. It was a good show. Like I don't care if it looked like Grownish. I'm watching. Everything ain't completely for everybody, and I again, this ain't a reboot. This is a continuation of the story because, as we've seen in casting notices, all of the people who were in A Different World that are still with us have made cameo appearances in this season of A Different World. Child, they done got Whitley and Dwayne back, Ron, Julissa. They got Kim back, Freddie, Jada Pinkett Smith coming back as Lena James. The only people who aren't returning are likely the ones again who have went on. I wonder if they got Patti LaBelle to come back as Mama Wayne. If they get Patti LaBelle, baby, listen, I will be in complete heaven because the story focuses on, yes, a new generation of students that are going to Hillman College. They shot this season on the campus of Clark Atlanta University. So shout out to Clark. But Whitley and Dwayne, it seems like, and I believe the story is their youngest daughter is now a freshman at Hillman. And then like I mentioned, people was talking about she got a son, she got a daughter. They got a daughter so young. That daughter would have been growing out. Y'all, people can have children up until older age. Let's keep in mind when A Different World ended, they were only maybe 2-3 years out of graduating from college, which would have put them at around anywhere between the age of 22 and 25. We're gonna be generous, right? 22 and 25. Let's say that was 92, and it could be later than 92, but I'm just gonna do a rough estimate. 1992. Now, what year is this? 2026. 92, 02, 12, 22, 26, that is 34 years, right? So today, if let's say Whitley was 24 years old, 34 years, what would that put her? What did I say? She's 24, 34? That will put her 58, around 58. If their daughter is 18, that would mean that Whitley had that baby when she was what? Around 40. Give or take however many years. Y'all, people have kids when they're 40. Y'all, people have kids. Hey, I have friends who are having babies in their 40s. So, yes, Whitley and Dwayne could have, and it's likely that they have a child who is 18 because they had a baby when they was 40. Y'all know people be having oops, baby. You trying to tell me that Whitley and Dwayne, that Dwayne used to be all up on Whitley. Child. Wayne, he used to be all up on her. You trying to tell me that they ain't had no more kids? They probably have like 3 or 4 kids. And if they only got two, this was the oops baby. So, like, come on. So, yes, they have a child there. I'm excited about this. I can't wait. It is coming out this month, in a couple weeks on Netflix. I will be tuned in. I wish it all the success. And we gotta support this, y'all, because again, they ain't green light nothing for us. They're not. They ain't. So let's go out and support this movie. I mean, sorry, with this television show. With that in mind, are you gonna go check it out? Are you gonna log over down to your Netflix and click on it when it comes on television? I hope so. I hope you do support. Let me know though. You can find me at Cornelia on social media. And lastly, I want to quickly acknowledge and shout out the National Association of Black Journalists, NABJ. They had one of their conferences recently this past week where their thumbs down 2026 thumbs down award recipients went viral. And I gotta be honest, I did not know that they did this every year. I am very familiar with NABJ, but I did not know that they give an award to journalists, news entities, magazines, publications, and so on. They give a thumbs down to those entities who are harmful and do a disservice to Black people, in Black spaces, Black content, anything Black, right? I did not know this. But this year it went viral for many reasons, particularly because of one person who was on here is causing a stink about it. But I want to play it because I actually love this. So let me play this because this is what we need to be on. Okay, this what we need to be on. So I'm gonna play this, and then I'm just gonna have a quick chat because it's pretty self-explanatory, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
NABJ presents the Thumbs Down Award to an individual or organization whose actions, reporting, or institutional practices have significantly undermined fair, accurate, and inclusive journalism about Black communities. Brendan Carr, DeJuan McCoy, CBS. Stephen A. Smith, The Washington Post.
Decisions about who owns media, who controls newsrooms, which journalists and beats receive investment, and which reporters can work without political or corporate interference shape what stories get told, whose experiences matter, and whether journalism can hold powerful institutions accountable. Eliminating journalists and subject matter expertise weakens journalism's ability to serve the public and hold power accountable. The theme of this week has been Our Revolution: Truth, Power.
Okay, now let me play this one because that one was a little. That wasn't the whole thing. But let me play this part.
Stephen A. Smith, sports analyst and political commentator. Smith has established a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent Black women across politics, sports, and media. Such commentary reinforces harmful narratives, undermines the fair and respectful representation of Black women in public discourse, and stands in direct conflict with NABJ's longstanding commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of Black communities.
Y'all, that's what he get. Listen, I am no expert at any of this. I get on Black News. We have a good key and talk about topics that impact Black people. We get serious. We have a good time. We we focus on what's important to us. But one thing that I try not to do, and I'm not perfect at this at all, and I know I fall short, but I try not to be disparaging to Black people and to Black stuff. Okay. And I'm saying stuff because this an overarching umbrella that falls under this. I try my best to not talk crazy about people, to show us in a bad light. I try to be respectful to our elders and to the people who paved the way, our icons, our legends, our up and coming stars. I try my best, right? If something we got to talk about, I be trying, y'all know, sometimes I be tippy toeing, and depending on who we talking about, I don't even talk about them at all. Hey, I got my own biases. Let me keep it real. But I make sure that I do my best to not disparage anybody. I ain't gonna be talking crazy about no Black women. Like I don't play that. I'm not playing that. And if I do fall short, let me know. Like if y'all hear me saying something, you're like, "Kane, you gotta chill." Please let me know. Because when I do say something, it usually is around topics or individuals that are harmful to Black people. Black women, Black kids, like I don't play that. So I will go in on people who are harmful. But one thing, and I'm gonna say allegedly, because they be trying to get people out here with the legalese. Okay. That people have been pointing to clips, to tweets and posts on social media from over the years of that man, that gentleman that was just named in that video, disparaging and talking crazy about Black women. Jasmine Crockett, Kamala Harris, Michelle Obama, you name it. They done dug up the receipts. And it is disheartening, right? It's disheartening, especially in a time like this. We do not got time for this. We under attack. We are under attack from all sides, media included. We are about to be under state sanctioned media. It's already shaping up to be that way. CBS, that Paramount merger, we are already up under this. We do not have the room to be getting online, turning the TV on, looking at YouTube, and seeing Black people tear down other Black people and being disrespectful, and especially to Black women. We not playing that. So people got the receipts and they saying, "Hey man, just take your little award and do better." Now he allegedly, I'm just gonna say allegedly because you're about to give me. He kept talking about some NABJ, you will pay. He doing all of this or whoever. He going on right wing news programs to talk about this. Sir, just go on black media. That's what we talking about. Go to Black Me, go to Joy Reid. But you can't because you've been talking crazy. He talked crazy about Joy Reid. So you feel what I'm saying? You see where I'm going? With that said, be careful of what we be saying out here. Everything can come back to bite you. And I'll be mindful about this because Lord knows I'll be like, man, Don't come get me. But I also try to do my best to not be disrespectful. Okay. So with that said, what do you think about the award? Is it rightfully deserved or not? Do y'all think it was in bad taste? Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts. You can find me at Cornelia on social media. On this week's episode of Black News, we gave an update on the circumstances in North Carolina involving another Black man that was found hanging. This took place in Raleigh. We also talked about the online discourse that has been happening as it relates to people acting like they ain't never satisfied with nothing, specifically around the casting for Storm and A Different World reboot. And we also gave a quick update on the National Association of Black Journalists Thumbs Down Award and one of the recipients. Hit me up. Let me know your thoughts about all of these topics, some or none, and I'll check back with you guys next time. That's it for this week's episode of Black News, y'all. Thanks again for supporting the podcast by sharing, liking, subscribing, and rating 5 stars on your favorite podcast app. To find more information about me, you can check me out at Cornelia on social media, as well as on my website, which is cornelia.com. And as always, thanks for supporting, and I'll be back next week with new topics and a new episode.